Hey, what's up, everybody? Widgie checking in for another court chat. Today was a very fun day for me, very interesting day. I got to have a lovely discussion with, I think she said she's a psychologist or a psychiatrist at one of the correctional facilities in the area. And we just kind of hit it off talking about life. And, over the course of the conversation, it was so weird. I didn't know her background at the time we started the conversation, but we just started to have dialogues about life. And it veered off into many different chapters. And again, towards the middle of this, she said something very profound that I appreciated. She's like, wow, it's clear that you've done a lot of work that most people don't take the chance to. And I was like, thank you. Like, I chose to do the best that I could, to find wisdom and understanding through the course of the pain that I had gone through. And then that's when she mentioned she was a psychiatrist or like a psychologist or whatever. And I was like, the compliment hit different because like the whole time we were discussing and dialoguing, she had been kind of hitting mental notes in her mind where with some of her clients, she's like, wow, this, so she's acknowledging like, wow, he's actually done this work. Like work that she works with people to get people to try and do the work on themselves on. That's when that compliment hit different. And I got flattered a little bit. It was weird, because again, I've had these kind of dialogues, but this is the first time I've ever secretly gotten graded, and it was nice. That kind of compliment hit way deeper and different because like she's acknowledging that I'm moving in the right direction. And it's things like this. You listen to the universe. Again, random chance meeting at work, don't know this individual's personal particular background, but again, in her mind, I don't know that she's actually making mental notes of what I'm saying. She's working in her mind, wishing that her clients could get this kind of clarity. And, I'm just sharing stuff that I found in my life along my journey, dealing with my own pain. And she was like, at some point, she was so surprised. She was like, have you seen a professional? Like, how did you come to all these conclusions? I was like, mostly just coaches and mentor dialogue and YouTube stuff. I had a desire to understand, so I sought knowledge that would help me elevate my mental, emotional capacities, cognitive abilities, because, we were discussing, about survival mode and how that childhood unmet needs cultivates relationships throughout the rest of your life versus how you'll react until you are able to understand. And then once you understand, you see these aren't my burdens. So like I was telling her, for the majority of my life, I've been shouldering so many burdens that it took, again, my divorce and dealing with that to really get me to acknowledge. So we discussed, at that particular pinnacle moment, I made sure I didn't turn to any substances. And if you've listened to previous videos, like the thing that made that moment make or break for me was the choice that I made, in which that I understood where I was at. I knew not to turn to substances, but I needed help, identifying that I needed help. And I knew exactly what kind of help I needed. It was weird. It was a weird come to Jesus moment. Never forget it. in a hotel with my son. I'm kind of bending, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was telling her, you know, like, for where I'm at, there's no way that I could have been broken, but I was definitely bent out of shape. And like, I'm bending, I'm bending, for lack of a better term. I'm folding under this particular weight. And I needed to communicate. I needed to be heard by somebody who can understand me. And there's nobody in my family that I could turn to. And as a light went off in my mind, and it was like, you need to call your dad, dude. There's nobody else on the planet that's gonna understand and hear you. And then, like, I'm telling her how lucky I was that this man actually chose to take advantage of the opportunity to hear his son out. You know, I remember the phone call to this day. We still talk about it. You know, I hit him up. I'm like, look, man, like, I am down bad right now. And I don't need anything from you. I've never asked you for anything. Take that back. I said, I never asked you for anything. I just need you to listen to me. I never asked you for anything. I know this is a weird request at an awkward time. Again, I'm doing bad, bro. And like, I just need you to listen to me. So for the nature of our relationship, he could have been like, nah, dog, I tried to help you out when you were 16. He could have turned his back on me. I got lucky enough that this man took the opportunity to hear his son out. I also got lucky enough that I made the conscious decision that I can't turn to any substances and identify that I need help in this particular facet. And then we were talking about discussions that I have with my dad, and I was like, to this day, we still communicate on a deep level because I'm open to sharing and I want to learn. And most of what our dialogue is, it's not me seeking solutions from him. It's really just using him as a sounding board. He chooses to listen to me. I come with problems that I have, action plans that I'm using to address the problem, and how the progress is coming along with the issue that I'm dealing with. If that's the dialogue. Sometimes we're just shooting the shit saying, hey, how are you? Like, how's life going? Blah, 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 blah. You know, but if I'm bringing an issue to the table, this is how I discuss it. There's no pressure, expectation, or effort needed on his end in terms of providing a solution. He can definitely, and this is what I appreciate, he'll definitely provide his insight, perception, and perspective. He'll get me to try and do another side so that I can broaden my perception, therefore increasing my perspective. He will do these things, and we get to have great dialogues. And over the course of the discussion with this lady, you know, she was like, how old are you? I was like, you know, I told her how old I was. And she's like, this is crazy. Like, let alone people, but just men. I rarely see men that have done this level of work. And I was like, probably because men aren't encouraged to like process emotion. We're just supposed to move on, tough it out. But like, it was gaining access to that full spectrum. I tell people that I get to be sad, and they sometimes misunderstand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I no longer have to be angry. Like the movie Inside Out, I understand what sadness is. If you're understanding things about the world, you know that you can't save and solve every problem. As a result of that, you might be sad. And that's okay. You don't have to dwell in it. You don't have to let that cripple and stop you, but you don't have to be angry about things that are outside of your control. That's what sadness is probably for. You see something, maybe for something or somebody you care about, that you would like to be better, and you can't do it because they won't do it. That's sadness. And that's okay to feel sadness. It just means you care a little bit. Some people choose to convert sadness into anger because they know how to process that better, but they're not really identifying why they're feeling what they're feeling. Sadness is crucial. Once I was able to figure that out, dude, so people that I've cared about and loved, I gotta watch y'all make dumb decisions. It makes me sad, but I'm not about to pause my life because you want to make your life a dumpster fire. Have at it. I'll be sad, chewing my popcorn, watching your world burn down to the ground. And then I'll wish you all the strength and wisdom and understanding so that hopefully you can build a new world that's going to cater to you better. What I can't do for you is the work. What I can't do for you is make you see what you did wrong. Some of the situations we were discussing, she was like, man, why do you take responsibility? That's not, some of it is it's not your fault. It's not your fault what your parents did to you. And I'm like, you're right. But me holding that responsibility to that understanding, I move further away from that victim mentality. I want to be as far away from that as possible. So I don't want to give myself any more excuses. She's like, that's very interesting. And again, this is a trained professional. Didn't know that this is the discussion that I was having with this individual. Got a free session, gave me a passing grade. You know what I'm saying? You need to use it? Okay, you mind giving me just a hot second? Sure. All right, I'll be right out. Thank you. Run into the situation again, but yeah, man, it was awesome to have that experience with this individual and go over these things to get that push and that pat on the back that says that you're moving in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? It was an awesome day. So I was found myself proud of myself again having this particular unexpected interaction. So you never really know who you're talking to, and this is why I share. Because if one person could draw something, not preaching the gospel, but I'm sharing my experience. If one person can draw something beneficial from it, then it served its purpose. This is why I do this. This is what's going to help anybody get better, is to know that it's possible. Relate, understood, be heard, So I might touch upon it again. I got a gentleman that wants to use the facilities, but yeah, man, this was an awesome day and an exercise in excellence, and life just gives you those little nuggets along the way that lets you know that you're moving in the right direction. So keep that energy for yourself. Desire to grow and develop and expand in your excellence, expand in your experience, and keep your train on the tracks in the direction that you want to head in, man. Build a life that you want to live and be a part of something great. And invite people into that. Jump on that Wagey train. Wages out.